their job in the coming year as well. Well, Google is refusing to send any top executives to appear before Congress to discuss its role
I don't blame them.
in midterm elections. This comes days after the search engine denied the president's claim that Google is manipulating the news about him. Wednesday's hearing is about preventing anyone from trying to influence our upcoming election. Members of Congress are threatening to hold the hearing with an empty chair to make a point of Google's absence. Well, a police officer who responds to an emergency call of a homeless pregnant woman ends up adopting the baby. Here's what's trending at 4. Officer Jesse Witt met a woman looking for a home for her unborn baby girl. She explained how she ended up on the streets and became addicted to heroin. Well, Officer Witten, already a father of 3, decided to help. Did he ever? He adopted the baby and welcomed her into his home.
She had this beautiful idea of what her daughter's life would be.
There's a lot of shame involved with heroin use, and so that shame kind of helps fuel that cycle of them continuing to use and not bouncing back. And so
We're just so grateful that even in the middle of the cycle, she chose a family for her daughter, and she loved her enough to give her a chance.
Whatever. Talk to you in 18
They
years.
stayed in touch with the birth mother, sharing photos and details of her daughter's new life, and they hope they will use that as motivation to get herself off the streets. And a man known for his jaw-dropping football tricks is back with a new one.
a lot of times when I go out and kick, I have no clue what I'm going to do, and I'll just start goofing off, and the creativity just starts to come to you after a while, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, can I do this? Can I do that?
Well, apparently you do pretty much everything with the football. Adam Lennon was a kicker back in high school. He is also, as you see, a master of trick kicks and onside kicks. So good, he's even taught a few NFL players how to do an onside kick and offer advice, because, of course, that can be a key play late in the close game, guys. That's amazing.
He's an expert football kicker. How do you just, I mean, I guess.
Well, I think that was an onside kick there when he was on the bike. I think it went 10 yards.
I'm surprised he hasn't made a career out of this other than being on YouTube. Goodness. Well, Brian, we're going to get a break from the heat and humidity, but we still have to get through tonight and tomorrow.
That's right. We still have to deal with the mugginess tonight and another day tomorrow, just about like today. But then things start to change once we get to Thursday and for the rest of the week. Let's take a look at that forecast this evening. You might be dealing with an isolated shower or thunderstorm out there early on. Temperatures will be backing off through the 80s this evening, but staying muggy. And we still have heat index values for the evening commute running up into the 90s. Hopefully you've been in the vicinity of one of those showers, because at least it's cooled off a little bit.
Whatever.
For example,
complain. Just shut up. It's all right.
At 8 o'clock. Your forecast tomorrow starting with sunshine, 74 to 85 degrees at noon, mostly sunny and then partly cloudy. At 5 o'clock up near 90 degrees. Look at these low temperatures tonight, only dropping down to the low 70s. And then tomorrow afternoon, right back up around 90 degrees with heat index numbers about 95 to 98 tomorrow afternoon. And right now you are checking out Tropical Storm Gordon, almost up to hurricane force winds now. Top winds at 70. It's moving northwest 15, so it's making a beeline right there toward the Gulf Coast, towards Pensacola.
Keeping with my Jesuit high school's motto, men for others.
Going north.
I've spent my career in public service. I have tutored at Washington Jesuit Academy, a rigorous tuition-free school for boys from low-income families. At Catholic Charities at 10th and G, I serve meals to the homeless with my friend Father John Ensler. In those works, I keep in mind the message of Matthew 25 and try to serve the least fortunate among us. I know I fall short at times, but I always want to do more and do better. For the past 7 years, I've coached my daughter's basketball teams. I love coaching. All the girls I've coached are awesome. And special congratulations to the girls on this year's 6th grade CYO championship team. Anna, Quinn, Kelsey, Shawnee, Chloe, Alex, Ava, Sophia, and Margaret. I love helping the girls grow into confident players. I know that confidence on the basketball court translates into confidence in other aspects of life. Title IX helped make girls and women's sports equal. And I see that law's legacy every night when I walk into my house, as my daughters are getting back from lacrosse or basketball or hockey practice. I know from my own life that those who teach and coach America's youth are among the most influential people in our country.
Hi, baby.
With a kind word here and a hint of encouragement there, a word of discipline delivered in a spirit of love, teachers and coaches change lives. I thank all of my teachers and coaches who've gotten me to this point, and I thank all of the teachers and coaches throughout America. As a judge, I've sought to train the next generation of lawyers and leaders. For 12 years, I've taught constitutional law to hundreds of students, primarily at Harvard Law School. I teach that the Constitution's separation of powers protects individual liberty. I'm grateful to all my students. I have learned so much from them. And I'm especially grateful to the dean who first hired me, now Justice Elena Kagan. One of the best parts of my job as a judge is each year hiring 4 recent law school graduates to serve as my law clerks for the year. I hire the best. My law clerks come from diverse backgrounds and points of view. A majority of my 48 law clerks have been women. More than a quarter of my law clerks have been minorities. And I've had far more African-American law clerks than the percentage of African-American students in U.S. law schools.
Ow.
I am proud of all my law clerks. I'm grateful for my friends. This past May, I delivered the commencement address at Catholic University Law School. I gave the graduates this advice: cherish your friends, look out for your friends, lift up your friends, love your friends. Over the last 8 weeks, I've been strengthened by the love of my friends, and I thank all my friends. I'm grateful to have my family behind me. My mom rightly gets a lot of attention, but a few words about my dad. He has an unparalleled work ethic and the gift for making friends with people, regardless of who they are or where they come from. My dad and I are both passionate sports fans. When I was 7, he took me to the 1972 NFC Championship game at RFK Stadium, just 2 miles from here. Upper deck, section 503, row 3, seats 8 and 9. When I was 17, we sat in the same seats for the 1982 NFC Championship game. In 1995, when I was 30, we were at Camden when Cal Ripken played it in his 2,131st consecutive game and broke Lou Gehrig's seemingly unbroken. And so many other games of my dad. A lifetime of friendship forged in stadium seats over hot dogs and beer. My daughters, Margaret and Liza, will be in and out of this hearing room over the next few days. Girls, dedicated students, outstanding athletes. In the time since you last saw them at the White House ceremony on July 9th, I'm pleased to report that Margaret's gotten her braces off and has turned 13. Margaret is the sweetest girl you'll ever know. As for Liza, I tell her every night that no one gives a better hug than Liza Kavanaugh. Finally, I thank my wife, Ashley. She's a strong West Texan, Abilene Cooper Public High School, and the University of Texas at Austin. She's now the popular town manager of our local community. This has not exactly been the summer she had planned for the family, but I'm grateful for her love and inspiration. Ashley is a kind soul. She always sees the goodness in others.
All the NFL teams.
She's made me a better person and a better judge.
Much anticipated electric SUV
I thank God
today.
every
The
day
Mercedes
for my family.
EQC will compete head-to-head now with Tesla and is the first production model of the car maker's electric
Mr.
EQ
Chairman,
sub-brand.
Sarah Feinstein, members of the committee, I look forward to the rest of the hearing and to answering your questions.
Ruby red slippers to
I am an
The Wizard
optimist.
of Oz. 13 years ago.
I live on the
this kid
sunrise
endorsed
side of the
Ruby
mountain,
Slippers,
not the
and a
sunset
wizard
side of
vine
the mountain.
slipped out of a Minnesota museum.
I see the day
They
that
were
is
at the
coming,
museum on
not the
loan
day
from
that
a
is
man
gone.
named Michael Shaw, who owned them for decades. There's one
I am
catch, though. The
optimistic
insurance
about the
company
future of
now owns the
America.
slippers.
I am
And Michael Shaw says
optimistic
he gets first
about the
dibs
future of our
to buy them
independent
back. Is that
judiciary.
really a deal, though, I guess, if you just really want to own
I
these?
revere the Constitution.
Look, I just hope they end up where they belong.
If confirmed at the
because-
Supreme Court, I will keep an open mind in every case.
Next,
I
here
will
on
do
5 on
equal
2,
right
talking
to the
live
poor
with
and
State
to the
Breakfast
rich.
Studio about very contentious
I
hearing today
will
on
always
Capitol Hill, as
strive
well
to
as
preserve the
very interesting letter
Constitution of
he
the
just
United
sent to the
States
State Board of
and the
Education.
American rule of law.
And some
Thank you, Mr.
information
Chairman.
just into our newsroom this afternoon. A man
Thank you, Judge
identified
Kavanaugh.
in a sexual assault case at a Centerville
I have
Kroger.
something I want to say to the committee, but before that, we've been here approximately 8 hours. You've had a lot to hear today and listen to. I think it's very noteworthy that no one has seriously questioned your qualifications to receive a promotion to the nation's highest court. And they've learned a lot about you being an exceptional teacher, coach, volunteer, and dad, in addition to being an exceptional judge. So I thank you very much for your statement. Questions for the record are due Monday, September the 10th at noon. We'll notice Judge Kavanaugh's markup meeting for Thursday, September 13th. This timeline is consistent with how we've handled past Supreme Court nominations. I want everybody to know that right now so that members and their staff can be working on written questions throughout the week. With that, we'll recess until tomorrow morning at 9:30 when we will start the first round of questions. Again, each senator will have 30 minutes for the first round of questions, and I intend to go like we have with Gorsuch, that people will have a chance to ask the questions they want to ask. But we start out with the 30 minutes and the 20-minute second round, so everybody's going to have a chance for 50-minute crack at this strong judge. Meeting adjourned.
Oh my goodness. I'm tired. Oh man. Hey, little dog. Little dog. Who's drinking?
Now at 5, the September heat wave continues here in the Miami Valley. We'll have the latest
Oh, please,
on
it's
the
all right.
forecast and also how it's impacting schools. And welcome into 5 on 2, where we do begin with some breaking news. The Dayton Police Department has just released new information following the Austin ball shooting back on Monday.
The assistant chief says Officer Tim Liddy fired his weapon after a man tried reaching for Liddy's gun at a mental health emergency room. 2 News reporter Ethan Fitzgerald has breaking details from a news conference that just wrapped up.
Yeah, Brooke and Mark, Officer Liddy and his partner are on administrative leave for the time being. The suspect, who has not yet been charged, is awaiting surgery after being shot in the hip. Now, we back it up to yesterday for a second. The shooting happened around 8:30 at Samaritan Crisis Care on Monday. The man came in, who police say was coming down from a meth high. The man did not cooperate with hospital staff or police. Eventually, police deployed a taser, but it did not work. You're about to see some surveillance video of the man as he tries to make several attempts to reach the officer's gun.
Now, you see the officer on the right. He moves his firearm away from its weapons retention technique, and you're going to see the lunge for it right now. He's going to reach for his firearm. Right now, he reached for it, and a second time, he's going to reach for it in just a second, right there. And he almost is able to obtain,
Oh my goodness.
to get control over the officer's firearm. And that's
And police say in total, officer 4 times. And there was some talk about this yesterday when I was on the story. Officers weren't sure if they had prior contact with this man on Monday. It was confirmed via RTA surveillance video that this man had made contact with security officers there and had made comments saying that he was ready to die. And we will update you when charges are filed. Live in Dayton, Ethan Fitzgerald, 5 on 2.
And we're following new information tonight after a sexual assault at a Kroger in Centerville. Centerville police identified the suspect as 22-year-old Mitchell Cowan of Dayton. They've issued a warrant, and he is wanted for disorderly conduct and indecent exposure. Yesterday, they released these images after they say he exposed himself and touched a woman with his genitals. It happened Friday at the store on Cornerstone Boulevard. If you have any information on where he might be, you are asked to call police.
And the victim from a Dayton homicide has been identified as 30-year-old Timothy Delaney of Dayton. He was found dead at a house on Midway Avenue early this morning. Dayton police say he did die there at the scene. That shooting still under further investigation.
A man who drowned in the Mad River last night has also been identified. The Clark County coroner says 26-year-old Dylan Persinger from Medway drowned after jumping into the river to rescue his 10-year-old brother. The child fishing around 4 p.m. Monday. Crews attempted CPR on Persinger, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. That child made it out of the water safely.
And a man will go to prison for the next 61 years for shooting and killing a 23-year-old babysitter. A Montgomery County judge sentencing Chucky Lee to that sentence today on charges of murder and felonious assault, among many others. Police say the 2017 fatal shooting of Taylor Brandenburg began with a bar fight over money. The fight then continued outdoors. That's where Brandenburg was babysitting the kids of one of the people involved in the original fight. Before the sentence was handed down, victim impact statements were read in court.
You've had several chances at rehabilitation, all of which did not rehabilitate you. Your criminal history is very extensive, including violence and guns. In a perfect world, you should get the death penalty, but this isn't a perfect world. If it was, you wouldn't have murdered Taylor. I asked Judge Singer to give you the maximum penalty possible, not to ever have the chance to take another life.
And 2 other people have already been sentenced in connection with this shooting as well.
Well, if you've been outside at all, you don't need me to tell you, we are officially in the midst of a heat wave.
And I am now officially ready for fall.
I'm with you.
I'm at it. Chief Meteorologist Brian Davis tracking. Well, we are going to get a break in the Storm Team 2 forecast.
Yeah, it's past Labor Day now, but still there again tomorrow. Sunny showers popping up. Every now and then we get a lightning strike, but mostly just some light showers. As the sun sets tonight, we'll see this rain die out around 8 o'clock or shortly thereafter, and then we'll be looking at clear skies tonight. But you may run into some raindrops. Don't be surprised if that happens. Goodwill Auto Auction camera, you can see the clouds getting a little darker there over downtown Dayton. Occasionally some rain shafts showing up there to the north side of town. And as far as the severe weather threat goes, the next 24 hours is basically hot and humid, and maybe again tomorrow afternoon some of those isolated showers or perhaps some thunder. 86 degrees currently. We've had a shower in the vicinity of Dayton International Airport, so it was up around 91. We hit up 91 degrees for the high, but it cooled off to 82 in the past hour, warming up again. There's a northeast wind at 9 indicating one of those showers, kind of kicking the winds up a little bit. But look at that dew point, 74, so it feels like 94 degrees out there tonight. Backing off to 79 at 9 o'clock with light winds this evening. And as Mark mentioned, a little bit of a change in the weather pattern. That'll be coming up later this week in the Storm Team 2 forecast.
The sweltering temperatures have forced some schools across the Miami Valley to dismiss students early. 2 News reporter Dana Smith continues our team coverage with how districts make that choice.
It's another very hot day across the Miami Valley, and teachers here at Broadway Elementary School say the temperatures climb too high, students find it hard to concentrate, and can even feel a little sick. Every student in this classroom came prepared with a bottle of water, and in the corners, fans on full blast.
We have 2 fans. If you get too many more, they can't hear you.
Broadway Elementary School in Tip City dismissing 2 hours early today. It's one of only 2 schools in the district without air conditioning.
So I have a thermometer on my phone that can check the inside temperature, and it was 96 in my room. So if you think about that, like how hot it would be, you wouldn't want to go outside on a 96-degree day.
Staff says it's okay in the morning, but the heat gets worse as the day goes on.
By after lunch, they're just pretty much done. Even with our water breaks and popsicle breaks, they just are tired and not feeling well with the heat that we have.
We have kids that have to go down to the nurse because they start having headaches and migraines.
More fans are set up in the hallway to try and circulate some air. The school library is one of the only rooms with air conditioning.
So they've tried to rotate in and out of those, but with 400 students, they're getting minimal time in that air conditioner just to kind of have a little bit of relief.
Smith says they have discussed building new classrooms with air conditioning, but there's no concrete plans for that just yet. In Tip City, Dana Smith, 5 on 2.
Also with 5, a person with the West Nile virus has now been reported in Preble County as well, but health officials there say they have not found any actual mosquitoes with West Nile in their county as of yet. So far in Ohio, there have now been 8 cases reported this year, including 1 fatality. Mosquitoes have tested positive in Greene, Miami, and Montgomery counties.
We are following up as the remaining victims have been identified in a fatal crash. The Greene County coroner says 21-year-old Akeem Tyson and 24-year-old Pierre Green were passengers when they were killed on US 35 last Wednesday. They're both from Charleston, West Virginia. The Ohio State Highway Patrol previously identified the driver as 18-year-old Brett Helsley from Bunker Hill, West Virginia. Helsley crashed into the back of a stopped semi while traveling nearly 70 miles per hour. The driver of the truck was not hurt.
Well, it was a chaotic start, to say the least, to the first day of confirmation hearings for Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Democrats made repeated pushes to end the proceedings as dozens of shouting protesters were let out of the room and arrested. Blaine Alexander has been in that hearing room all day as the latest on a developing story.
Well, Mark, Judge Brett Kavanaugh has certainly had a lot of practice to get ready for this, including role-playing and even fake protesters. But even all of that could not have prepared him or anybody for what happened this morning.
On the nomination of
Mr. Chairman.
Brett Kavanaugh.
Mr. Chairman, the hearing for Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh was only seconds in before Democrats moved to end it.
I extend a very warm welcome
We have not been
to
given
Judge
an
Kavanaugh,
opportunity to have a meaningful
his wife,
hearing on
Ashley.
this nominee.
That protest, joined by others in the hearing room, more than 30 people arrested. Deep division in the Senate and around the country on full display.
Get a grip and treat this process with the respect and gravity it demands.
At issue, Democrats say the White House is withholding more than 100,000 documents related to Kavanaugh and his days working in the George W. Bush White House.
What are we trying to hide?
But with more than 400,000 documents already released,
This committee has more materials for Judge Kavanaugh's nomination than we have had on any Supreme Court nominee in history.
It's not about documents. What it is about is politics. It is about Democratic senators trying to relitigate the 2016 election.
Judge Kavanaugh vowing to decide cases based on law, not his personal views.
I'm honored to be here today.
His appointment could cement a right-leaning court, which could shift decisions on major issues.
From civil rights to women's rights to access to health care.
It's pretty clear that your views go well beyond simply being pro-gun.
Today, just opening statements. Tomorrow, the first round of questioning. And standing inside those objections from Democrats certainly felt choreographed, and that's because they were. In fact, sources tell us that Senator Chuck Schumer held a conference weekend to solidify the plan. In Washington, Blaine Alexander, 5 on 2.
All right, Blaine, thank you. And we'll be talking live with a local state representative about that hearing and several other issues coming up in just a few minutes here on 5 on 2.
And still to come on 5 on 2, a state of emergency declared as the Gulf Coast prepares for a tropical storm. We have the latest from Gordon as it closes in on the coast.
Well, first, your vocabulary gets an upgrade. We take a look at some of the new words added to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Always interesting when they do this every year. It's part of what's trending. We'll have it when 5 on 2 returns.
Elk and Elk. When a medical mistake causes you injury, call 1-800-ELK, Ohio.
Roped on the red carpet actress Dakota Johnson. Was she inappropriately touched by a movie director in front of everyone? Watch the next Inside Edition. Inside Edition, tonight at 7 on WDTN. Steel, the power you need from the name you trust. This spring, pick your power, fuel or battery. Pick one of our easy-to-use battery-powered blowers, or pick one of our hard-working fuel-powered blowers. Also, check out the legendary Steel Farm Boss chainsaw. Your nearby Steel retailer can help you decide what's right for you. Search STIHL or visit steeldealers.com.
The world never stops. It's constantly changing, evolving, moving forward. And so are we. Introducing Spectrum Mobile, built on America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network, combined with our ultra-fast nationwide Wi-Fi network. Choose from our unlimited data plan for $45 a line, or our buy the gig plan for $14 a gig. Call 833-202-7283 and then enjoy a faster, better connection with streaming, surfing, gaming, or whatever you're into. All with unlimited talk and text and no contracts. Call 833-202-7283. The best network, the best devices, the best value. Switch to Spectrum Mobile today with our unlimited data plan for $45 a line and save up to 40% on your mobile bill. Or get our buy the gig plan and pay as you go for $14 a gig. All with unlimited talk and text. Call 833-202-7283 or visit SpectrumMobile.com. Valley, enter our cutest pet sweepstakes and prove it. Go to WDTN.com and click on contest to submit a picture of your furry friend. You could win a Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken Party Pack. Enter now through September 7th. Brought to you by Lee's Chicken.
Okay, back and checking what is trending on this day after Labor Day, beginning with Samsung's next big thing could actually be something we've seen before. The company will unveil details of its foldable smartphone later this year. Now, not much detail has been released at this point, except that it's going to be different from the old style hinged flip phones many of us had years ago, and it will be different from a tablet once it is fully unfolded.
America now has its second $1 trillion company. Amazon's total value once unreachable goal today. Apple hit the $1 trillion mark at the beginning of August. Over the past year, Amazon has started turning up the dial on profits. At the beginning of 2018, the company was worth $580 billion. So experts say the increase in value is a remarkable statement of how fast the 24-year-old company has grown.
And they have changed retail in our country forever, I do believe. The next time somebody tries to tell you that hangry is not a word during your game of Scrabble, tell them to check the dictionary, because Merriam-Webster has now added 840 new words and definitions to adapt to the ever-evolving English language. Science and technology advancement led to the addition of words like biohacking, and GOAT, which is actually the abbreviation for the greatest of all time, also made it onto the list. Not really a new word, an acronym, but it's in there. It's part of what that's 840.
That was going to be my point. I feel like typically they're like, we've added 10 words, but 800 new words.
Typically, I'm pretty proud of myself. I've actually heard all of these.
Hangry and
I've heard of hangry. Yeah, every year. Katie used to kid me every year about how many I did not know.
Well, we have 840 to go through, so we'll see what you know here later tonight.
4 down and do the math to go.
Still to come here on 5 on 2. One of the very latest from the coast is Tropical Storm Gordon approaches landfall.
I'll be talking live to the local state rep about the letter he has sent to the Ohio School Board calling for air conditioning in every school in Ohio.
Wake up with 2 News today, weekday mornings beginning at 4:30 a.m. What does it mean when we say 2 News is working for you? It means digging deeper into the local stories that affect you and your family, along with local meteorologists, keeping you safe when weather's at its worst. 2 News, working for you.
Mike DeWine's special interest allies are making false attacks on Rich Cordray because Rich Cordray has spent his life taking on the big banks and drug companies, the very companies funding DeWine. Rich Cordray won back hard-earned wages taken from hard-working Ohioans. Now he's running for governor to fight for us, to protect Medicaid, bring down healthcare costs, and strengthen education and job training. Rich Cordray, a governor for all of us. A Stronger Ohio is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Everything okay there?
I just got this dental bill. I thought Medicare covered that.
Okay. First, let's go ahead and close up that road. And secondly, most plans don't cover as much as you think. But Anthem offers plans that cover preventive care, vision, dental, you name it.
That's great.
Yeah, being fully covered is great. You should totally try it.
No matter your worry, Anthem Medicare has a solution.
We love getting 11% off everything at Menards, especially when we're taking on big projects like our laundry room. We're saving in every aspect, from the Clearview cabinets down to the Tide detergent. You can get it all in one stop, and 11% savings keeps us coming back. We saved over $500 on our laundry room, and I can't wait to start our next project.
Your next project starts right now with 11% off everything at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
The Greene County Veterans Service Office is proud to assist veterans and their families with obtaining the services and benefits they have earned. And veterans, it's all at no cost to you. So please give us a call at 937-562-6020.
Well, to say the very least, plenty happening in both Columbus and Washington, D.C. these days. Joining us now live in studio to discuss, we welcome back our good friend, Miamisburg State Representative Niraj Antani. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
We saw you the other night at URS Awards Dinner. Thank you for attending that event, supporting that organization. Let's start with the Kavanaugh confirmation hearings that began today on D.C. Contentious, to say the least. I asked this question knowing full well you're the staunch Republican that I know you are. Are the Democrats, are they simply going for their pound of flesh given the way the Merrick Garland situation went, or are there legitimate concerns?
Well, I think the president has a great choice in Judge Brett Kavanaugh. I think he's a mainstream choice. I don't think he's a fire-breathing conservative, but obviously a conservative through his opinions. But this whole business about memos and memorandums that, aren't available. This is partisanship, right? Unfortunately, at the national level, it's really become more entertainment than actual governing. And, every Democrat of the Senate Judiciary Committee seems to be running for president in 2020. And so, they're getting their shots in. But, I think that the American public and the Ohio public will see that, Judge Kavanaugh has a strong record. He's practical while conservative, and we'll go through.
Certainly in contrast to what we saw today on Capitol Hill was John McCain, a man who was just laid to rest on the grounds of the U.S. Naval Academy. In watching all the coverage of the past week, the question was always asked, well, who's the next John McCain? And the answer universally was no one. He's one of a kind, but can his legacy, will any of that carry forward?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Senator McCain was the standard bearer in 2008 when I was coming up in politics. Obviously, they think, the party has grown more conservative, including myself and him. But, look, there was no one who stood as a gentleman more. He served our nation, in the military. And I think, everyone will have their legacy and he's certainly contributed a lot to our party and to our country.
Well, John McCain was always in favor of reaching across the aisle when necessary, and our nation could use some of that right now. Let's focusing on Columbus and Ohio schools, and I did read earlier, I follow you on Twitter, of course, the letter you sent to the State Board of Education. Talk about that.
Well, as you know, today, a bunch of schools in the Miami Valley and across the state had early dismissal because their schools do not have air conditioning. That is completely unacceptable. It's 2018. It's the 21st century. There's no reason a student should have to suffer through the heat while trying to learn math and science.
Exactly.
And so I'm asking the Department of Education and the administration
but they do it in Africa.
Tell me what the cost would be to air condition to figure out a solution to this problem. There's absolutely no reason.
Maybe the kids need to go to school later at night.
Through the heat. For basic learning and teaching that's going on in our schools.
Of course, a lot of the districts will say, we don't have the money. So are you telling me state money should be?
Well, every 2 years, the state already has what's called a capital bill. This is a capital infrastructure bill. About 25% of this already goes to school construction. And I think before we start building fancy new buildings, we should take care of those with basic necessities.
Exactly.
Air conditioning. So, we put, I think it was like $900 million into new school construction this past spring. I think that can go to air conditioning in the future because before we build these new schools, we need to take care of basic necessities.
As I told you, my idea is that we should start school and high school football after Labor Day. But as you pointed out,
It's already Labor Day.
It's after Labor Day, and it was 96 in the classroom today as we worked from the
That's right.
Raj, good to see you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for joining us. Brooke, over to you.
Well, tonight, communities along the Gulf Coast are bracing for Tropical Storm Gordon. Businesses and homes are boarded up, and hurricane watches and warnings stretch from Florida through Louisiana as that storm rushes
It'll be
toward
all right.
the shoreline. Jay Gray is in
blow
Gulfport,
right over.
Mississippi with this developing story.
Hey there, Brooke. Good evening. If the current track holds, this could be the strike point. But right now, Gordon continues to churn in the Gulf, gathering strength and momentum as it moves in. With Gordon racing toward the Gulf Coast,
Makes me a little nervous.
tens of thousands in the potential strike zone are rushing to get ready.
We want folks to be aware. We want them to take all the necessary precautions at their own properties, protect their property as well as themselves.
Moving sandbags into place, filling gas tanks, and making sure there's plenty of food and water for what could be a rough ride for the next couple of days.
We don't know how bad it'll be. Best to do what you got to do before it get here.
That's
But
right.
the time to prepare is
And
quickly
going up
running
north.
out.
Throughout the day today and into tonight, conditions are expected to deteriorate.
Strong winds, a growing surf, and soaking
And stay
rain.
out of the water if you don't want to die.
Approximately 8 inches, maybe even up to a foot, not only along the coast, but also inland.
As Gordon moves in. And along with that rain and gusting winds, forecasters warn about a storm surge 2 to 6 feet that could also cause significant damage here. In Gulfport, Mississippi, Jay Gray, 512.
And he's right. It's not so much the wind, it's the water that does the damage.
Water gets shoved in there, and then you get the flooding. That's always a concern. But yeah, but even 70-mile-an-hour wind, Jim, that's beating on your house for a while.
You're on the
That-
coast.
That's not the best thing either.
And as you're watching that, could we be seeing the effects here in the Miami Valley at all?
Eventually, we'll have to see where that moisture goes. It's expected to move up toward Arkansas, so they can have some flash flooding there. Eventually, some of that moisture may get pulled northeast towards us over the weekend and early next week. So that's something we'll be watching the potential for. At least right now, though, let's take a look at the latest on Gordon. Still a tropical storm, top winds at 70 miles an hour, just barely below hurricane strength. And that storm moving northwest at 15. You can see the hurricane warning areas in effect across the coastal areas of Mississippi and also Alabama. Tropical storm warnings over toward Panama City and Pensacola and New Orleans, and points on southward there toward the mouth of the Mississippi River. Also looking at the potential for some tropical storm force winds. As I mentioned, the storm will move inland there, and as we head toward Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, just kind of making its way up into Arkansas, slowing down and dumping a lot of heavy rain. 7 o'clock this evening, we're expecting 84 degrees, some scattered showers, 79 at 9 o'clock, and 77 degrees. 11 p.m. We'll be seeing those showers die out with sunset, back to clear skies overnight, 74 at 8, 85 at noon, and 89 at 5 o'clock. Tomorrow's going to be a lot like today was. Once again, some spotty afternoon, evening showers. Perhaps a thunderstorm could go up again. Rain chances really make a jump, though, on Thursday in our weather headlines, and then we'll have that rain chance hang around into the weekend and early next week, but certainly not as warm, but humidity levels will stay up a bit. We're looking at low temperatures tonight, only dropping down to the low 70s. Tomorrow afternoon, up close to that 90-degree mark, and then we'll start to see the changes on Thursday, even some 60s and 70s in the northern parts of Indiana and northern Ohio behind a cold front dropping south. We'll back our highs off into the 80s. Humidity levels stay oppressive, at least through Wednesday, and then easing off a bit at the end of the week for Friday, but still a bit on the sticky side Friday and into the weekend. And you're seeing some of that rain tonight, some spotty showers up into Miami County, up into Darke County. As I mentioned, don't be surprised to have a little bit of lightning and thunder occasionally thrown in with some of these, but certainly nothing severe expected. Just kind of rotating around this big area of high pressure, and with all that hot and humid air in place, that's helping to generate the rain. Northwest of us, though, we have a tornado watch in effect along a cold front that is moving through the northern plain states. Currently 86 in Dayton. We have a northeast wind at 9, but combined with the humidity, it feels like 94 degrees out there. And you can see those readings away from the showers. Low 90s still showing up at Springfield, Xenia, Wilmington, 92 in Springboro, but with Greenville and around Troy and Dayton International Airport picking up some of those showers actually has cooled off a bit. Heat index numbers tonight ranging anywhere from about 90 up to 100 at Toledo and just barely below 100 at Cincinnati. Your future track forecast map showing the rain dying out tonight, but tomorrow afternoon, once again, some more of those scattered showers and a few thunderstorms could pop up over our region. A forecast tonight, we'll have a slight chance of some of those spotty evening showers. After that, clear and muggy, overnight low 72. Tomorrow, hot and humid, partly sunny skies near 90. Again, a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon and evening, 85 at noon and near 90 at 4 o'clock. And then the forecast here showing Thursday's high 82 with clouds, rain, 78 on Friday, showers, even a few thunderstorms around, 77 Saturday, chance of showers and still that chance of rain into early next week, Sunday and Monday, but at least we're getting away from the 90-degree highs.
All right, that's a start, Brian. Thank you. Still to come on this edition of 5 on 2, a free program kicks off today to help our local veterans. What's being offered to those who have served our great country?
But first, ditch the lawnmower. This church has itself a couple of lamb mowers. Get it? Our video of the day.
Find new roads and a new Equinox for $299 a month with no money down. Jeff Weiler, Springfield.
I'm Dr. Trace Curry. Would you like to jumpstart your weight loss with a non-surgical option? Journey Light now offers Obalon, the first FDA-approved swallowable gastric balloon. If you have the will, we have the way. Check out Obalon at journeylight.com and get up to $1,500 off.
The 2018 American Idol Live Tour is coming to a city near you. September 10th, Rose Music Center at the Heights. Your top 7 live on stage. Cade, Caleb, Katie, Gabby, Journey, Maddie, and Michael. With special guest, Season 8 American Idol winner Chris Allen. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Tickets and VIP packages available at AmericanIdolLive.com.
What will you find here? Do you know where you go is where I want to be? Life is just a dream for life's most important journeys. Ooh, lucky you. Lucky me. Ohio, find it here.
Really?
I love to walk. Every day, nothing will stop me.
Oh, well, that's sweet.
But when the pain in my hip got so bad that I had to have total hip replacement, I experienced something more. The compassion I received from Kettering Health Network was unlike anything I've experienced before. They were committed to me, and it was life-changing because now I'm living pain-free. My name is Jerry, and that's why I chose Joint Care at Kettering Health Network.
Are you interested in weight loss surgery but not sure you have insurance coverage? We'll help you find the answer. I'm Dr. Trace Curry, Medical Director at Journey Light. Find out more at journeylight.com.
Well, New York City Church is making some headlines for its new landscapers. Here they are, these 3 sheep arrived at the Basilica of St. Patrick's Old Cathedral, and they have one job to do. That is to maintain the grounds by eating the grass and, of course, fertilizing it as well. Once you figure that one out, church members say it's a tradition that started 5 years ago. The sheep, by the way, are named for some of the streets nearby the Basilica: Houston, Prince, and Spring.
But do they, I mean, I don't know, do they do as good of a job as an actual lawnmower, or is this just for show?
I would say the grass is going to be lamb chopped.
I knew that something was coming my way. All right, it's still to come here on 5 on 2. A new bike park could be making its way to downtown Dayton. What's being done by the city to set those wheels in motion?
And we're talking live with Better Business Bureau about their annual conference aimed at women in business.
Two News, brought to you by Fiesel.
What are these? Stanton Optical? I got 2 pair and a free eye exam.
At Stanton Optical, get 2 pair for $59.95 plus a free eye exam.
Steel, the power you need from the name you trust. This spring, pick your power, fuel or battery. Pick one of our easy-to-use battery-powered blowers, or pick one of our hard-working fuel-powered blowers. Also, for springtime cleanup, check out the Steel RB200 high-pressure washer. Your nearby Steel retailer can help you decide what's right for you. Search STIHL or visit steeldealers.com.
I think that bothers his ears. Learn to crochet. $35. Well, I know how. $35.
The end of day.
$35.
That's the relief you'll feel from the body's soothing serenity. Relief from
$30.
middleman markups and a hard day's work. That's the Original Mattress Factory. Thoughtfully made, honestly priced.
Every morning, 2 News Today is working for you. Keep your morning moving with 2 News Time Saver Traffic. Brought to you by your Miami Valley Honda dealers.
There's a place where life is served in small batches, where the barley grows long and the hops grow as tall as the tales that follow, where new ideas are served daily and passion is poured into every pint. Because savoring the best of life is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
And you said it was how much? For 2? And a free eye exam? Stanton! Oh, I love you. No, I hate it.
At Stanton Optical, get 2 pair for $59.95 plus a free eye exam.
And back on 5 on 2 with a quick recap of the top 5 stories in case you're just now tuning in. Welcome to you. Top story number 1. The Dayton Police Department has just released some new video to us following the officer-involved shooting on Monday.
The video shows Officer Tim Liddy firing his weapon after a man tried reaching for Liddy's gun at a mental health emergency room. Police say that man was coming down from a meth high and would not cooperate with hospital staff or police.
Top story number 2, a drowning victim has just been identified. 26-year-old Dylan Persinger of Medway died trying to save his 10-year-old brother from the Mad River on Monday afternoon. The crews attempted CPR on Persinger, but he sadly was pronounced dead there at the scene. However, the 10-year-old he was trying to save did make it out of the water safely.
Top story number 3, a warrant has been issued for a man police say exposed himself at a local Kroger. Police are searching for 20-year-old Mitchell Cowan of Dayton. He's wanted for sexual imposition and indecent exposure after police say he touched a woman with his genitals at the store on Cornerstone Boulevard.
Top story number 4, of course, the heat. Several schools closing early again today because of this ongoing September heat wave in the area. But there is relief on the way. Brian has that in his forecast minutes away.
And top story number 5, a chaotic day in Washington. It was the first day of confirmation hearings for Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Democrats made repeated pushes to end the proceedings as dozens of shouting protesters were let out and arrested. And that's a look at our top 5 stories today.
More on the weather now. Brooke, every year about this time, I always reach the point where I've just about had it with the heat. I have officially reached that point.
I was going to say, where you switch over we go from the iced coffee to the hot coffee, but that's right. We aren't there yet. Tell us why, Brian.
Well, it's because Mother Nature doesn't want to let that heat go just yet, but we are looking at some cooler air northwest of us, and some of that will start to filter back into the region as we get toward the end of the week. Tonight, with all the heat, humidity, just very isolated, spotty showers popping up. Those will be around a little while longer, but with a setting sun, we'll begin to see those die out, especially after 8 o'clock or so tonight. Still can't rule out one of these going up big enough to throw out a couple of lightning bolts, too, similar to what we saw yesterday evening. We'll probably do it again tomorrow. Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems camera. There's your traffic on I-75 north of town out there Poe Avenue. And at least right now, dry weather there. No threat of severe weather next 24 hours. But again, some of those isolated afternoon showers or thunderstorms a possibility tomorrow. Feels like 94 in Dayton on the heat index. 98 in Springfield. 97 Springboro. 98 at Wright Pat. So it's just like the middle of summer out there. Only dropping back to 79 at 9 o'clock. But I'll tell you about some cooler weather coming up in the Storm Team 2 forecast.
All right, Brian, thanks. The city of Dayton is rolling right along with the plans for a new bike park near downtown. 2 News reporter Deborah Bogart is working for you to find out where they are in that process.
This week, Dayton City Commission unanimously approved a service agreement with the International Mountain Bicycling Association, meaning a new mountain bike park is one step closer to a reality. Mayor Nan Whaley saying today it's going to be a great addition to the Carillon Park neighborhoods, which often gets looked over. There are going to be hills and plenty of obstacles for kids and everyone of all ages to enjoy. She says a group of city public works officials, Bond Bright distributors, the University of Dayton, Five Rivers Metro Parks, and residents from the Carillon and Edgemont neighborhoods are also joining together to come up with the final look. This service agreement that was passed this week is a $300,000 agreement that includes the initial design phase as well as planning and design services.
A lot of this money has been raised from other folks, and so we're able to use the money that Bond Bright and others have given to this effort and make sure that it is a state-of-the-art bike park.
Construction right now is planned to begin sometime in spring of 2019. For now, we're reporting in the Miami Valley. Deborah Bogart, 512.
And a free program for our veterans is happening now in Montgomery County. The new identification card program helps our veterans take full advantage of the benefits they have earned. The veterans can now get the free ID card by registering at the Montgomery County Recorder's Office. You must also provide 2 additional forms of ID.
As a veteran and as a Montgomery County Recorder, I'm very proud of this initiative. I believe that this is a victory, not just for Montgomery County, but for all the veterans that we service here. This is something that's well overdue, and I'm proud to be the one to bring this initiative to our veterans who need it so much.
Veterans who serve the country experience a lot of different things, and for them to have an ID card to identify their services and to help them move forward in life, I think it's a great opportunity for them.
And Montgomery County is home to more than 40,000 military veterans, and we thank them for their service. Brooke.
Well, the Better Business Bureau has a long history of celebrating women in business. And joining us now to talk about the upcoming Women in Business Networking Conference is Melissa Kuchar, Vice President of Leadership Development at the Better Business Bureau. Thanks for being with us here tonight.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. So this is not a new event. This has been going on for some years now.
Yeah, 11 years now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for people who are still unfamiliar, or perhaps you have people that like to come back every year, because I'm sure it changes year to year. Talk to us a little bit about what this event entails and what you'll find there.
What you'll find at this event is we have 2 keynote speakers. I'm very excited about them. We have 15 breakouts, lunch, reception. But what I think most importantly, what you'll gain from attending this conference is networking, growth, development. It's all about how we can help women move forward, helping you get from where you are to where you want to be.
And so you talked a little bit about the breakout sessions. What are those going to entail for what? I mean, it's one thing to come and eat and listen to a speaker, but then there's going to be some work, in these groups too. So what does that involve?
So we have 15 breakout sessions. There'll be topics like social media, leadership, professional development, sales, marketing, anything for any professional woman that is looking to grow and learn more.
And what do you typically find, from year to year that is, some of the most important things that women, when you talk to them after the event, what is it that they really walk away with that they find so valuable?
What I think is interesting from almost every conversation I've had with a woman was, I was really glad that I took the day off to take care of me. It's pretty rare that we'll take time off. We're the ones that are doing everything, or it feels like we're the ones doing everything. So it's really important to take some time off and take care of you, whether it's furthering your career, networking, meeting new women, and get energized.
Yeah, so definitely an important event there for the women out there. Let's talk a little bit about pricing and the date and where they can go if they would like to attend.
Well, we are a short 2 weeks from the conference. It is Wednesday, September 19th. The pricing is on our website. It's wibnconference.org. So if you're a WIBN member or a BBB accredited businesses, it's $159. And then if you're not, then it's $189. So we just encourage you to register. If finances are an issue, we always have the Jeannie Porter Scholarship Fund, and you'll also find that on our website.
Okay, so it's coming up there September 19th. If you need to see that information, again, we will, as always, put it on our website, WDTN.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Mark.
All right, ladies, thank you. Still to come on this edition of 5 on 2, how you can help some sick kids and their families right here at home. We'll tell you about the fundraiser that is taking place for them right now. And then coming up just a few minutes here on 2 News at 6.
Between the sun, the humidity, it is pretty warm and it feels hotter.
Yeah, it's not just high school football players beating the heat, how local coaches making sure their young athletes stay safe and cool on days like this. And recognizing the victims of the opioid epidemic, new at 6, how Memorial will remember those who've lost their lives to drug abuse. All that plus your Storm Team 2 forecast minutes away on 2 News at 6.
Yeah, I like that.
Certified Chevy Equinox starting from $13,900. Purchase with confidence at all Jeff Schmidt Chevy locations.
Teachers inspire young minds. And for all of their dedication, they get
a feeling of pride and apples.
The Jeopardy Teachers Tournament, presented by Farmers Insurance.
Tonight at 7:30 on WDTN.
If you're considering Medicare options or helping someone who is, you probably have questions. But now, get the Medicare facts you need with this free Medicare.
Okay. Very loud, very loud, very loud. I just learned the hierarchy of royal titles. The 5 possible titles, ranked from highest to lowest, are Duke, number 1, Marquis, Earl, Viscount, and Baron for men, Duchess, Marchioness, Countess, Viscountess, and Baroness for women. This is dated April 12th, 2017. So, I, would like a title myself. So, why not go for the best? Duchess. I'm so tired. I have to go get the money order, and I just don't know. I think I'm going to eat also. I sort of wanted to go to the dog park, but some members of the royal family get titles like Duke, Earl, and Baron. These titles are part of the peerage, an old ranking system for British nobles. The system still exists. Both royal and non-royal UK citizens can be peers. Ever since Prince Harry announced that he's dating American actress Meghan Markle, the media has been aflutter with talk of a potential marriage. Gee, they really need to update this thing, don't they? I want to go to Sweeney's.
Joseph Orphanage is moving its foster care and mental health services offices from Moraine to Poe Avenue up in Vandalia. Doing so, they say, to get closer to the center of the people who need them. Officials say the move should make reaching the office more convenient for everyone who needs their services.
Panera Bread locations across the Miami Valley raising money for seriously ill children this month. You can round up your bill to the nearest dollar to support Flying Horse Farms. It's a program that partners with Dayton Children's and provides a fun camp experience to sick kids and their families at no cost. To see a complete list of participating locations, go to our website, click on As Seen on 2 News.
And the numbers are in for a music festival held for charity this past weekend. Living Dayton's Zach Pitts created the Sound Valley Summer Music Festival, and they raised $2,500 to help bridge its path. The concert featured more than a dozen bands and was held at the Yellow Cab Tavern on Saturday. I'm sure Zach was on stage with his band.
Right. Still to come here on 5 on 2. Getting back to the gym after having a child. The impact it could have if you get back into your routine too soon.
And some new guidelines are out from the folks at the CDC regarding head injuries in young athletes. What to do if your young athlete suffers a concussion.
Yeah, it was one hot and humid day in the Miami Valley, and here's a look at downtown where the sun was out, making it feel even hotter, when you can expect a little bit of a cool down ahead in your Storm Team 2 forecast.
Think you know pro football? Then your picks could win you $50,000 in our 2-sport pro football pick'em challenge. Register now for your chance to win at WDTN.com.
The 2 Sports Pro Football Challenge, brought to you by Indiana Wesleyan University.
I pick up the phone and I can tell right away someone's crying. So I say, oh, no, just breathe. Just breathe. It's okay.
It's okay. Our whole goal is to let seniors know that these resources are out there so they can get the services they need to remain in the home, because everybody wants to remain in the home. Don't hesitate to call. I'll get the resources. I'll find the answer.
Bob Evans used to say there are two things you can count on: being greeted with a smile and being well fed, especially if you love turkey. Ours is slow roasted in each and every restaurant for 6 hours to bring out the flavor. Served with mashed potatoes and gravy, carrots with hot oven rolls, and a side of hospitality. Now $7.99
so good. Oh my
for a
God.
limited time.
I might go have
a
that.
price that can put a
My
smile
God.
on everyone's face. Call, click, or come in now.
Click.
Mike
I may
DeWine's special interest allies are making false attacks on Rich Cordray because Rich Cordray has spent his life taking on the big banks and drug companies, the very companies funding DeWine. Rich Cordray won back hard-earned wages taken from hard-working Ohioans. Now he's running for governor to fight for us, to protect Medicaid, bring down healthcare costs, and strengthen education and job training. Rich Cordray, a governor for all of us. A Stronger Ohio is responsible for the content of this advertising.
This is an important time for healthcare in Dayton. Kettering Health Network's Grandview Medical Center is here to help.
We're expanding our emergency services using the latest medical technologies.
Bringing over 20 specialties right to the heart of Dayton.
And Grandview accepts most insurance plans. It's the high-quality, award-winning care Dayton has come to expect from Kettering Health Network. Choose care you can count on. Choose Kettering Health Network's Grandview Medical Center.
Into your health at 5, quitting smoking is rarely easy, of course, but a new study looks at which ways might be the most successful. Researchers recruited 1,200 smokers who said they were ready to quit. Some stopped right away, cold turkey, while others were asked to gradually decrease the amount of nicotine we're getting. Well, it turns out the process was more difficult for those who tried to quit right away.
The government releases guidelines on handling head injuries in kids. The CDC says concussion symptoms generally clear up on their own within a few months. The agency does not recommend x-rays or blood tests to diagnose a concussion. But if a child is vomiting after a head injury or loses consciousness or has headaches that get worse, a doctor might order a CT scan. Officials recommend rest for the first 3 days after a concussion, then a gradual return to normal activity.
And parents, you can also protect your child from injury by simply lightening their load. Doctors say a backpack, all the kids wearing those now back in school, should never weigh more than 10 to 15% of the child's total body weight. Also make sure they use both shoulder straps, not just one. And if your child does complain of back pain, numbness, or weakness in the arms or legs, get them to the doctor.
And doctors warn going back to a tough workout routine too soon after pregnancy might do more harm than good. Bianca Castro reports Into Your Health.
Yay! Soon after baby Finley was born, Ashley Miller was eager to get back in the gym.
My doctor's advice was 6 weeks, and it was probably 6 weeks to the hour that I went back.
She used to work out every day. She says she felt ready to get back to her HIIT workouts, but her body wasn't.
The day that I went back, just because I wasn't sore and it was my first time, and I think the adrenaline of being back and the excitement of being back, I did work out too hard that first time.
It set her back a few days, but doctors warn going back to an extreme exercise routine too soon can cause serious damage in your body. During pregnancy, high levels of progesterone cause a laxity or loosening of ligaments and joints.
You
need to take care of yourself and your body.
Dr. Liesl Smith says many women don't realize that laxity can last for weeks, even months after pregnancy.
Whether it's your ankle or a hip, any joint is a little less stable, so you have a little more chance of injury.
Yeah. Intense workouts can also affect a mother's breast milk supply. So Dr. Smith suggests light exercise like walking and workouts that strengthen your core. Ashley is back in the gym where she's made some modifications.
I knew that I had to be wary of not getting injured because she needed me. It's certainly a different role now. It's not just about myself.
Getting back into shape the right way, benefiting her body and her daughter.
Of course, new moms are weightlifting every day, lifting that
Exactly.
Right there, Joy.
They have
Absolutely.
baby workouts you can do, like lunges with your baby
See,
and
there you
push-ups.
go.
So they see.
There you go.
It's just an easy little workout. All right, Brian. Well, whatever you're doing today, it's just disgusting outside.
Yeah, I was going to say, the workout this evening, it's
Just
going
go
to be
sit
a
out
rough
there.
one, let me tell you. It's very humid out there. We've been up in the 90s. There have been a couple of spotty showers, a little bit of relief from some of the rain this afternoon, and even a couple of flashes of lightning, but mostly just some scattered light rain showers out there. And we'll see those temperatures back off to 79 at 9 o'clock. And with the setting sun, that's the driving force for those showers out there. So as the sun begins to head toward the horizon, we should see the coverage of those showers quickly diminish. Get back to clear skies overnight. 74, 8 o'clock in the morning and sunny. Partly to mostly sunny sky at noon, 85. Partly cloudy at 5 o'clock. And just like today, we could see a couple of those spotty showers and thunderstorms later in the day tomorrow. Low temperatures tonight dropping down to about 72 here. That's all we'll head down to overnight. Then 90 degrees for that high temperature tomorrow. And combined with the heat and humidity, it'll feel like about 95 to 98 degrees. Your pool forecast tomorrow. And also expecting to see those partly sunny skies and humid conditions out there. So find a nice cool spot by the pool. And there is Tropical Storm Gordon, just barely below hurricane strength. Top winds at 70 miles per hour, moving northwest at 15. You just about see the circulation there off the coast of Mississippi and Alabama. A storm could strengthen to a Category 1 hurricane before making landfall and weakening as it moves inland through Thursday afternoon up into Arkansas. But heavy rain will be likely along the path of that tropical system. A moderate ragweed count today, that number at 35. The allergy numbers showing tree pollen low. Grass, weed, and mold counts all at moderate today. And a pretty dark sky up there in Greenville, and you can even see some rain shafts as we look off to the east from some of those towering cumulus clouds. Dayton International Airport's had 0.06 of an inch of rain today. They had one of those showers pop up around the airport just about an hour ago, and it still looks like a little bit of rain in the vicinity, but there are some of those heavier showers up east and northeast of Greenville. This is the cell we were looking at there. And then north of our camp,
let's see, what the frick was I going to do? Okay. Oh, yeah, my Fitbit. New Fitbit.
Just south and southwest of Hamilton. And don't be surprised, some of these stronger cells, if they produce a little bit of
I can read it.
and some thunder
Take it
over the
off.
next couple of hours, too. Tornado watch in effect northwest.
I don't think that this that my thing is going to last a long time. It feels very nice. I don't think it's going to last a long time, though, because I take it off a lot. Okay, let's see. Fitbit.com setup.
Mid to upper 90s.
Fitbit.com/setup.
86 in Dayton after some of the showers had cooled things off there, but all the heat mostly running between about 90 and 100. Your future track forecast.
Oh my God, I need to have my eyes checked so bad. And quit moving the bed.
The afternoon hours again, there could be a couple of those hitting go up. Your forecast tonight. An evening shower, perhaps clear and muggy, low 72. Tomorrow, hot and humid, partly sunny skies, high up near 90, and 82 the high on Thursday, backing off of clouds, some rain around. We could even drop back to high